Good morning, everybody. This is Tanetta, your relationship coach and Speak Your Truth. And I want to welcome you to the video this morning and welcome you, of course, to 31 Days of Forgiveness. And this is the 31 Days of Forgiveness for the whole month of December 2020. And I decided to, of course, do these 31 Days of Forgiveness and listening to Pastor Mike Todd on YouTube talk about Forgiveness University and all the intertwinings and all the things that, of course, go along with forgiveness as far as healing and of course, working through our past wounds and all those kind of things. And those always deal with our relationships, actually. A lot of it does. Our relationships with others, whether it's family, friends, parents, those kind of things, all together. Like I said, it definitely deals with a lot of our dealings with others. And just keep in mind that when you're working through, of course, your forgiveness, like I said yesterday, just make sure that you know that it is a choice that you have to make. I cannot make that choice for you. Just because I'm doing this 31 days of forgiveness to, of course, talk about different things and issues and traumas and dramas that I've been through in life and how I was able to, of course, forgive and move past that point in order to move forward in life. Like I said, just because I'm working through that and just because you see other folks, it's the norm is to forgive somebody in order to just say you forgive them. Like I said, forgiveness is always a choice and it's always intentional. Never just forgive somebody just because somebody said that you should. Like I said, forgiveness, you have to, of course, look within and, of course, make sure that you know that in your heart space and in your head space that you're looking to, of course, really forgive this person or whatever the situation was in order for you to, of course, drop all that baggage, drop all those ill feelings and all those triggers and all those kind of things and be able to move forward in life and of course, accept your blessings. Like I said, that's where this entire series has come from. And I hope you all have joined us on a lot of the days that I've done already. I've started on December the 1st, and today is the 9th, I believe, of December. So I'm, of course, like I said, doing 31 days of forgiveness this entire month to, of course, like I said, well, hopefully to, or at least I'm looking to, make sure that you know that I'm, of course, a person just like you are. Of course, that's the main, but that's number one. But to also let you know that I had to go through forgiveness as well. I had to go through my healing process and my healing journey. And no, it was not easy. And I'm just here to tell you all that nothing like that is easy. You definitely have to put in the work. And like I said, doing these videos and talking about the forgiveness and talking about some of the issues that I dealt with and some of the ways that I learned my lessons and those kind of things and what those lessons are. Like I said, you can definitely pick up on some of those things and utilize them in your own life. You don't have to pick up on everything, do exactly what I did at all, because your situation is definitely going to be different from mine. But like I said, definitely if you're looking to make that choice to head down the road of forgiveness, you don't have to do it publicly like I'm doing. I'm doing this because videos help me, of course, heal. That's the journey that I took a few years ago, actually, a video journey to, of course, tell my story, to speak my truth about what happened in my, I guess, upbringing, childhood, that's caused a lot of issues, a lot of traumatic things in a lot of ways and a lot of patterns that I live my life. I guess I put it that way. And like I said, doing that whole entire series a few years ago, or not entire series, but I guess the whole year I did the videos. But like I said, it definitely helped me heal from a lot of those traumas and a lot of the drama, a lot of like I said, the things that trigger me throughout life, and and also the things that kept me stuck. I definitely want to say that because I know I had a lot of things that, of course, was keeping me stuck, whether it was from resentfulness, I guess being resentful, being bitter, that kind of thing. And I was a very angry, very, 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 very angry person, actually. Had a very hateful heart years ago, I guess I put it that way. And like I said, a lot of those things I know blocked a lot of blessings for me. I couldn't just go into I could go into any room, but like I said, I can only get to a certain point because I know that something was going to trigger me, something was going to make me upset, or something was going to bring up some resentment or bitterness that I had, and I couldn't even get past that point. And like I said, now I'm able to move past those things and go on with my life. But like I said, it was definitely hard. I'm 44 years old now, but it's definitely been hard to, of course, get to this point where I can, of course, talk about the whatever's going on with I guess in my past and be able to, of course, forgive people. And I do want to make sure that I say this. I know everybody's like, you forgiving this person, saying that they molested you is okay, or they beat you, it was okay. I'm not saying that anything is okay and that you have to forget the situation at all. You may never forget the situation. The forgiveness is always for you, to keep that in mind. The forgiveness is always for you in order for you to have peace in your heart and in your soul and in your mind, in order for you to, of course, move forward in life without the past feelings, without the past triggers, and without the past feelings of resentment and anger and all those things affecting you in order for you to live your life. Like I said, a lot of us live our life, because I did too, of course, stuck very angry at this person, angry at that person. Somebody's name came up, we're trying to have a good time. I'm like, oh, F this, I can't stand this, all that kind of stuff. Like I said, that was my not being, unforgiving, not being able to forgive those people in order to move forward. Like I said, I know that probably, I'm sure it turned people off as well. Anytime that we're, of course, having all these trigger things coming up that we have not dealt with, is going to bother us. And just to keep in mind, I'm telling you all this just to lead up to what I'm talking about today. But just like I said, because I know it's going to trigger a lot of people, I'm sure. So a lot of us have mommy and mother issues, I guess I can say that. I know I did as well, and that definitely impacted me. And that's what this video is going to be about today, of course, forgiveness for my mother, just to let you know. And like I said, I know this is going to trigger a lot of people, I'm sure, with some of the issues that you may have had growing up and with your mom and with the situation that she was going through and put you through, or whatever the case may have been. Like I said, that's why I'm saying all these things. So, of course, lead up to that so that you can know that this is not going to be a light video, I guess I can say. It's going to be a heavier video with heavier content, I guess I put it that way. The first thing I do want to let you know, of course, like I said, I'm forgiving my mother. I've already worked through this situation in the past, a few years ago, actually. And I actually wrote this... I probably can't see that, but I wrote this letter to my mom back in 2018. I don't have the month on here, but I know it was in the summer, either the spring or the summer, because I know that's when I was going through a lot, trying to, of course, work through the forgiveness, work through the issues that I was having, and, of course, healing all those wounds that I never did even deal with, or that I dealt with a little bit, but I never did fully heal from, I guess I put it that way. So like I said, this was the letter that I wrote to my mom. I'm going to actually read this first, and then I'll talk about a few more things afterwards. And I can't remember all of what this letter says. I know it has a lot of stuff in here, because, of course, I wrote this letter. This is one of the notebooks that I actually had back then, was writing, and, of course, I was journaling and that kind of thing as well, a lot, every day, and sometimes a few times a day, to, of course, clear my mind, to brain dump, I guess, as people call it, to get out, to get my feelings out. So I have no idea what all was in this letter. I just know that some of the gist is about, of course, what we grew up in, some of what I've forgiven her for, some of the things that I talked about that more in the story, I guess, after the video. But like I said, there's definitely some heavy things in here. Like I said, this may trigger some people, especially if you had a chaotic childhood growing up, and there was a lot of things dealing with abuse and that kind of thing in your household that you haven't fully dealt with. So just keep that in mind. That's why I was saying all that stuff leading up to this point, just to prepare you all for what I'm about to do, I guess, to put it that way. And like I said, I'm going to read this, and like I said, I don't know all the stuff that's in here, but I'm definitely going to read this to you. So regardless of what's in here, like I said, I've already dealt with these things, and I know that I have a healed heart from it, and a forgiving heart. I'm already past this point, I guess I put it that way, in my life. So like I said, this is definitely the letter that I wrote to her back in 2018. And it says, "To my mother, as a child, you did the best you could do with what we had. You made sure my clothes were always clean. We had food to eat, and that the house was clean. I remember you always taking me on a walk through our neighborhood," and I put / Forest Park, because we lived over on Nina Place. That's still over there about Oakland, is off Oakland and Hampton, actually. It's set right behind the old Channel 2 news station, actually, is where our house was. I saw the satellite looking out my window in the back. So we had the best times walking through the park, and it's a section in Forest Park called White Rocks, is what me and my mom called it. It's actually right outside the Science Center, that they have like all these white rocks that it's like surrounded by like a pond, and a pond is like inside of it. We used to go get in the water, that kind of thing, and enjoy, which I'm sure that's going to be in here too. But like I say, it was always fun. But we had the best time walking through the park. We found unique rocks and leaves together, and I still do that today. Find awesome rocks and different things like that, because that's one thing that I always remember and carry with me from my mom, that I, of course, like I said, still do now as I go like the hiking and things like that. It was always peaceful when it was just me and you. You made sure to take me to the Science Center, the Art Museum, and the History Museum frequently. This was greatly appreciated, as I always learned a lot and became cultured. And this is where my love of science, history, and art began. Because we went all the time, not every single day at all, but a lot of the weekends, of course, she'd walk me to I walked through the park. We'd go during the day, that kind of thing, go over to the Science Center. I loved all those things, and I still go to those places right now, actually. Over the History Museum, I guess we can't go now during COVID, but I was, of course, going frequently. Art Museum, History Museum, and the Science Center, so I love those places. And that's one thing, like I said, that I carried on now past, I guess, all the issues, all the chaos, that kind of thing. That's one thing that I always cherished that me and my mom did. You took me to the lake in the park and White Rocks where I got, where I got the chance to play in the water and enjoy the scenery with all the trees and the flowers. At home, you didn't stand up for yourself and was abused by my dad. I hated that, and I hated seeing you go through that almost daily. You never stood up for yourself, and I was very scared and fearful that my dad was going to kill you. And I want to stop there because growing up, my dad was very, very abusive towards my mom. And I have one of these cards in here for him as well because I wrote him a letter as well back in 2018 saying the same, well, forgiving him for different things. But like I said, growing up, since I was a kid, I don't remember, I guess like 2-3 years old, that was the earliest memory, I guess, of them arguing, fighting that I guess kind of have. I think I know I wasn't in grade school yet. So it was somewhere in that, I guess, between 2, 3, and 5, 4, 5. And like I said, my dad was very physically abusive towards my mom. And like I said here, I hated that she stayed in that, I guess, with my dad, with all this abuse going on, with all the trauma going on. And like I said here, I was very fearful that my dad was going to kill you. I thought that a lot because I wasn't sure what was going to happen. As a kid growing up in these kind of environments, parents do not understand how it affects the kids. Like I said, we're thinking that she's going to die because he's beating on her. You see blood and all these things going on. But like I said, that was definitely something that was very traumatic for me, and it definitely affected my life growing up. And I remember one night walking with you to the payphone on Grand and Delore, which is down the street from where I'm at now, in the middle of the night. I was excited, and I thought you were going to leave my dad after calling a domestic violence shelter, because it sounded like that's who she was talking to. It couldn't have been the police, because I'm sure the police would have showed up, but it sounded like it was a domestic violence shelter that she took me and her, walked us to in the middle of the night after they got done fighting, that kind of thing. She was saying she was tired of it, leaving, crying, and that kind of thing, and she grabbed me to, of course, go with her. I don't even know if I was fully dressed. I have no idea, but I know I went with her to the payphone, and it sounds like that's who she was talking to, and I definitely thought she was going to leave. But we ended up going right back home. I was mad at you for not standing up to my dad and actually leaving him. This went on for as long as I can remember, even when I went to college. You came to visit me once, had a black eye with a blood clot in it. I was embarrassed by this and didn't want to see you like this. Shortly afterwards, you told me you moved to Jeff City and left my dad. I was happy to know that you were safe. I hated that you used drugs. That's another thing. My mother was, of course, she did use drugs back in the day. She, of course, was on crack, cocaine, smoked crack, that kind of thing. So I smelled it in the house a lot because it was, of course, going on in the house. She drank, of course, liquor, beer, whatever kind of hard liquor, smoked cigarettes as well. I think marijuana at a certain point, I guess I put it that way as well, but I definitely hated that she did all those things. And like I said, I hated that you used drugs. The earliest memory of me seeing you use drugs was I was maybe 3 or 4 years old. I walked into the hallway and your bedroom door was cracked. I saw a metal plate with the white powder spread across it, which had some lines on it. And that was my first memory back when I was 3, 4 years old, seeing that. And of course, we know that white powder with lines on the plate usually is powder cocaine, so I didn't mention that, but that's where it looked like it started from. I guess I put it that way. I didn't know what it was, but I know now. As I think back, all of you were in the room putting the white stuff in your nose. Years passed and you went to smoking crack cocaine. Hold on, I'm trying to turn the page out. Hold on. I still remember the smell of it. It stunk very badly. It was embarrassing seeing you degrade yourself as you were. Sometimes on the floor looking for small pieces, then playing it off, saying that you saw me looking. Playing it off when you saw me looking. And I don't know if anybody has ever lived with anybody with the drug addiction or anything along those lines, because I've lived with many, I guess I put it that way. And of course, with the crack cocaine, once it got to that point, of course, they're of course looking for more drugs. I guess not in their right mind. And of course, I remember seeing her on the floor looking at pieces of white things that was on the floor, thinking it was crack and that kind of thing. And when she would see her doing it, she'd of course stop and try to play it off. Oh, she was looking for something, that kind of thing. So if you've never lived in a household like that, I'm just telling you, with dealing with different drugs, that's usually how it is. Borrowing money from me at times and even stooping to the point of trying to steal the money out of my piggy bank when I was sleeping with your sister with your sister at the time. I hated that you couldn't have made better choices. And I always, like I said, I wrote this down back a few years ago, and I've said that throughout life as well, that I wish you would have made better choices. And like I said, I talk more about that at the end of this video, but that's just what I've put here. You didn't work but a few times that I can remember, and I never understood why. And like I said, she didn't really work a lot at all. My daddy was the one who was, of course, working or trying to work. Of course, he kept getting reprimanded for different jobs, for being high or that kind of thing, coming to work because he was on drugs as well. And like I said, I talk to you about that once I get to that forgiveness card. But like I said, with my mom, I only remember her having a job maybe once or twice actually. It was at Schnucks. And then one was at Kelly Services. It was just temporarily, I guess a few months. It wasn't even really long. That was the only time that I remember, and I wasn't sure why. It wasn't until you left my dad and went to Jeff City that you began working at the hotel. I was very proud of you for taking these huge steps. Then to be told that you have cervical cancer. Because once my mom got to Jeff City, she, of course, was working, that kind of thing, staying with family members up there. Of course, getting her life back together, drug-free, recovering and all those kind of things. And I'm sure recovering from the trauma and the emotional abuse and trauma that she suffered from my dad as well. And like I said, she was taking some very, very huge steps. And I don't know how long it was after she got there, maybe like a year or so, she found out that she had cervical cancer. And that's what I was just writing, that then she took all these huge steps, but then to be told that she has cervical cancer. Since I was a child, you never took care of yourself. You didn't go to the doctor that I can remember. You had periods that used to last for weeks, and sometimes I knew that couldn't be healthy for you. And just to let you know, growing up as a child, from young as I can remember what a period was, I didn't know what it was until maybe like later grade school, that kind of thing. I knew that she had longer periods, I guess. And all of us, of course, we all know what periods are. I'm not ashamed to talk about that. But like I said, hers would last for weeks, sometimes months. And I knew that couldn't be healthy. That's what I was putting down here. I used to always tell her to go to the doctor to get checked out. That, to my knowledge, never happened. I think I said that here. I told you a few times to go to the doctor to be seen. You never went. The cancer became untreatable, and you went on, you wanted hospice, because that's what she actually had. When she was brought back down here to St. Louis, she actually, I didn't realize all what hospice was. I just knew that it was taking care of her, like towards her, I guess in her sickness and that kind of thing. But that's what she wanted. She didn't want any more treatment after the last time we had the meeting up there at what was the name of it? It was a cancer center down in Columbia. We had a meeting with the doctors and that kind of thing, and she was not wanting any more treatment. She was wanting just to forgo the treatment, I guess I put it that way. It was hard seeing you wasting away to nothing. I loved you and was still a child myself with no proper upbringing. My mother passed away. I was actually still in college, actually. I was, 20, trying to see. I had just turned 20 years old, actually, when my mother passed away. That was November 1998, I'm sorry, when she passed away. And like I said, I didn't have a lot of guidance, upbringing, that kind of thing, but that was some of the things that I was harboring, of course, as far as why I was upset with my mom and that kind of thing as well, because I was still a child myself and trying to get through life and hadn't had a lot of structure. The structure that I had to force upon myself, I guess I put it that way. So like I said, I was definitely saying that, of course, letting her know that I, of course, loved her and, of course, was still a child myself with no proper upbringing when all those things were going on. Everything I know, I had to learn it through a lot of trial and error, which was the case. I had been out to visit you that night and went to see the movie How Stella Got Her Groove Back. Because actually, the night my mother passed away, I actually went to see the movie How Stella Got Her Groove Back with, I forgot her name, Angela Bassett, Whoopi Goldberg, that kind of thing in the movie. And I still remember that night, actually. Getting back, once I left the movie theater, me and a friend of mine, I actually went straight to see my mom's, because in the movie, there was Whoopi Goldberg actually passed away because of cancer and things like that. So I was, of course, a little bit sad from the movie, I guess, even though it was a good movie and it was joyful at the end, that kind of thing. But the part was kind of sad for me, really triggered me and touched me as well. So I went straight to see my mom after I left that movie theater. There was a part in the movie, and I think I'm about to talk about that, where Stella lost her best friend to cancer, and I tried to hold back the tears because I know you wouldn't be here much longer. Because I knew that, like I said, seeing my mother dwindle away, she's getting thinner, She's can't really talk well now, that kind of thing. She's kind of out of it at times. She's sleeping a lot. The breathing was labored. Like I said, I knew that she wouldn't be here much longer. So I definitely, like I said, I had tried to hold back my tears during this movie. So because I was there with a friend trying to be hard and be like I didn't have any feelings, that kind of thing. And that was one of the issues that I had growing up, is not having the feelings and crying. So that's why I definitely put this in here. And I knew that she wouldn't be around any longer. I just didn't know how long. I guess I put it that way. I got home. Well, of course, like I said, I went straight to her home to, of course, kiss her. How you doing? That kind of thing. Then made my way back home because I had to go to work, I think, that following morning. But like I said, I got home, and in the middle of the night, I was woken up by my fiance at the time, and told me that you had just passed. Okay, I was 21. I can't remember whether I was 20 or 21. So I had just turned 21 then. I was 21 years old and hadn't even started my life yet. I was very sad, but somehow I knew that was the last time I would see you. But somehow I knew that the last time I saw you would be the last. And when I left that house that night, it was in my mind that something bad was going to happen to my mom. And like I said, I got home. I wasn't crying when I got home at all, but trying to hold back tears, that kind of thing still. I had to force myself to go to sleep because I was having a hard time going to sleep. I just knew something was going to happen. I just didn't know it was going to happen that quickly in that night. I guess I put it that way. You had been there through my breast reduction surgery and took care of me, because I had a breast reduction surgery. Y'all can't tell my breast now, but I had I used to wear like a triple H or triple I, some cup, really, really huge actually. So I had that surgery back when I was in early college actually. I think I was like 19 or so years old, I guess 18, 19 years old. And I had them, of course, reduced to a C cup, that kind of thing. And she was, of course, there. She came back to take care of me for like a week or so with my husband at the time. So I'll start back over. You had been there through my breast reduction surgery and took care of me, but I didn't know how to take care of you. I never got the chance to even get to know you, And like I said, that was something that I think about that now, that I never got a chance to, of course, talk to my mom when she was sober, to understand who she was, and even got a chance to even know her. I guess I put it that way. The you without being fearful of my dad. I feel that you never got the chance to be a mother to me, and that we missed out on valuable years. I know I used to tell you that I hated you and that I hoped that you died, which I did say that to my mom and my dad actually, but I didn't think this would be how things would turn out. I didn't really hate you. I just hated the things that you did and the things that you put up with from my dad. I hated that and wished that had died, not you. It's too late now, and I guess you'll never get the chance to hear me say these words, but I truly did love you. And like I said, those were things that I never got a chance to really tell my mom. When growing up, I didn't really get I love you a lot. I got that she was smart in school. I got straight A's. I was told that a lot, but it wasn't really affection or emotion. I love you, that kind of thing, was just straight balance all the time. Yes, they're proud of me for going to school, doing well, saying that I was going to go to college and doing all these things, that kind of thing. But because they saw that potential, whether they were high or not, they still saw that potential. But like I said, I never got a chance to actually tell her that I loved her like that and show her the affection that I didn't really know how to give at that time. And it seems like that as I think about it now, she didn't know how to give that either. I guess I put it that way. You may have not fought for me in a way I'd liked, but I now realize that you didn't even fight for yourself. I just hate that things turned out the way that they did. I know you love me, even though you didn't say it. Even though you didn't say it often, I have always appreciated that you taught me how to take care of a household, how to make a meal out of nothing, and that the cats are the best animals to have, because I have a cat now. You allowed me to experience hanging around your side of the family, even though I was sexually abused by my uncle. I never understood why you let me go to the movies with him one weekend instead of telling him no in order to keep me safe. And that's one thing that I talk about when I talk about the sexual abuse. Actually, I can talk about it here too. I was sexually abused by an uncle actually growing up. And this part is talking about, and this is like years later. Of course, she knew what happened and I had to go get checked out as a kid. And I'll talk about that more in that video. But there was a point in time when I was in probably like late grade school, I guess. Late grade school. I don't think I was in middle school. Probably like late grade school, 5th or 6th grade. That he came over, was wanting to take me to the movies. And like I said here, I couldn't understand why she wanted me to go to the movies with him, knowing what happened in the past. instead of keeping me safe. Like I said, that was definitely one of the things that I could not I still don't understand, but it must have been something that happened in her past that she was doing. She was done the same way, I'm going to assume. He tried to inappropriately touch me at the movies, and I grabbed his hand to let him know that he was not touching me anymore. I had to advocate for myself instead of you advocating to keep me safe. I was very upset with you for sending me with him, knowing that he tried to hurt me. I guess that he hurt me in the past. Like I said, that was the letter that I wrote my mom to let her know that, I guess, like I said, just to get these things out and just to get these things off my chest, and just to let her know a lot of the things that I cannot tell her now. Because of course she's passed away now. She passed away, like I said, back in November 1998. Lord have mercy. But like I said, this is a letter that I wrote to her. And working through forgiveness and working through this healing, I guess I put it that way. Like I said, it definitely took a lot out of me, because of course a lot of the things I still do not understand. I have no idea how my mother was raised. I have no idea what she went through growing up. I can just assume that maybe she had, because I know it seems like a lot of sexual abuse it happened to me as well, and others in the family. And like I said, it just seems like she may have grown up being sexually abused as well, is what it seemed like, and probably had some traumatic experiences and those kind of things as well. Like I said, that's something that I don't know, especially her life story, what happened, what caused her to use drugs, or why she got with my dad, why he was always beating her, what was going on. I have no idea. Like I said, I can just only assume at this point. And like I said, me forgiving my mom, I know that a lot of times that, like I said, and being able to, of course, know that I have to raise myself. I raised myself since I was a little kid, because of course my mother was not in her right mind to. Sometimes, of course, yes, I'm not saying every single time, but she was, of course, cooking, cleaning as much as she could, that kind of thing. Whatever she couldn't do, I, of course, did whatever it was, and that's how I learned how to cook. That's how I learned how to clean well. That kind and keep a household, help paying bills. When I help paying the bills, but teaching them how to. Well, telling them how to pay the bills, because we, of course, had no lights, no gas, getting evicted a lot when I was growing up. I think three times, actually, growing up, that kind of thing. So it was just very hectic, I guess I put it that way. And I know it was because of the drug issues and mismanagement of money and things like that. And like I said, having to raise myself through all those years, like I said in this letter, I never even got a chance to actually grow up and to live a childhood, I guess I put it that way, to actually grow up, to know my mother, to know what good things she could have done. I don't know, besides the only things that I've seen. Like I said, she worked a few jobs, those 2 jobs or so, and that was really about it. And like I said, the other things were just chaotic, drug usage, physical abuse, emotional abuse, arguing all the time. That's what I grew up with. And like I said, and I guess in forgiving my mom, I have to know, and I had to realize that whatever, I have to forgive my mother at some point, because I can't keep letting all this hatefulness, all this bitterness, because I didn't have a childhood, because she didn't raise me right, or the right that I thought she should have raised me. I guess I put it that way. I felt she should have been a better mom. Thought she should have been a better everything. That's not going to change the situation and what happened and what the experiences that we went through. I had to realize that, and I had to realize that I can only make up these things in my mind. I guess I put it that way. Besides the things that I saw, I can't really I can look more to anything as much as I want, but I'm never going to be satisfied if I keep going down the same rabbit hole. Oh, she should have did this. Oh, she should have did that. Or why did she do this? I will never know those things. Like I said, I can't just go and ask her. I have no idea. Some folks may be able to ask their mom, and that's definitely a good thing, regardless of it, if your relationship is strained or not. At some point, we have to realize that, yes, all these things happen to us, but yes, we have to take responsibility of those things, to clear those things, and to heal from those things at some point. If not, they will continue to control our life. Like I said, I grew up, of course, in a lot of hate. I guess I put it that way. Hating all these situations. Oh, I hate you. That came out of my mouth a lot. I put it that way. And like I said in here, I did say that I wish she died, I wish my dad died, all those kind of things as well. I was just upset with the situation. And I just thought that maybe they'll just get rid of the whole situation. And me not understanding as a kid growing up that well, of course, now I know it's not the right thing to say, but it's too late now. But like I said, definitely just knowing that I was not upset with her and wish she died or that kind of thing at all. That's not what I meant, as I know now. I meant that I was sick and tired of the situation that she was going through, that I saw her going through, and I wish that would have died off. I guess I put it that way. Or she would have left and did something better for herself. Which she did towards the end, but it was kind of too late by then. But like I said, I definitely had to realize that in forgiving my mom, I had to rewrite my own story, or this particular story, I should say, like I said, there's nothing that I can do about the information that I do not know, but I had to realize that I had to empathize, of course, with my mom, realizing that, of course, at some point she may have, and I'm sure she may have experienced sexual abuse as well, physical abuse, possibly growing up with her parents. I don't know. Like I said, that's definitely something that was in my mind, because I mean, otherwise it was a lot going on in their particular family. I guess I put it that way, as far as all those types of things. The communication wasn't there. Like I said, the lack of affection, I love you, give me a hug, that kind of thing, that wasn't there. I did get, like I said, they were showing, okay, yes, she's smart, she's intelligent, she's going to be something. They were always proud of that. But like I said, I got none of the other affections at all. And like I said, there was something that I had to learn how to forgive my mom for all those things that I was abandoned on. I guess I put it that way. And of course, she was there physically, but mentally abandoning me, and me being able to, of course, thrive in the environment I was in. And I was always the one who was the so-called adult, or the one who, of course, took care of this in the household, and tried to make things work. But like I said, I was a child, so I was a child. I mean, did this when I went to college. I was 17, almost 18, I think, 18 years old or whatever. And like I said, growing up, I was a teenager. I was a young child, 10, 9, 8 years old, that kind of thing, trying to help them run a household, I put it that way, trying to keep the house clean, trying to do all these things. And like I said, that shouldn't have been put on me. I was very upset, very resentful, very, 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 very bitter about all those things, not being able to live out my childhood as I wanted to live. I guess I put it that way, or that I saw on TV. I saw other parents on TV, the Cosby Show, and different people able to play and get along and having a good time, that kind of thing. I was very bitter about that because I didn't have that. And like I said, looking back at things as an adult, like I said, there was nothing I could do about the situation. Yes, I tried to jump into the middle of my mom and dad fighting. Sometimes I got knocked down. Sometimes the blow hit me too. It just depends on what the situation was. And like I said, that never stopped anything. But like I said, as forgiving my mom, I knew that I couldn't continue to go through life as a 20, 30-some-year-old person, early 40s as well, not being able to, of course, look past the hatred, not being able to, of course, look past the bitterness, not being able to, of course, heal from all that resentment that I had, not being able to get the childhood that I thought that I should have had, or not being able to get the parents in the household that I should have had, and all those kind of things. Like I said, I definitely had to go back and look at the story, look at the facts, the things that I know that were true, and the things that I was making up. And like I said, I had to rewrite that to, of course, make sure that I knew that there was nothing that I can do to control that situation. My mother has to answer to her God, or whatever God she believed in, to, of course, all the things that she did in her life. I would, of course, have to answer to that in my life as well. But talking about my mom, like I said, I know that she's going to have to answer to whatever God, like I said, God, Jesus, whoever it is. I'm sure she's already answered to that. But like I said, I had to rewrite that story and know that it wasn't anything that I could have done. It wasn't my fault. It was mainly on my parents. I mean, that's nothing that I could control as a little kid. And like I said, I did take a lot of that blame, that if I would have did this, then my mother would have probably lived, or made her go to the doctor. She may have not came down with cervical cancer, or if I would have did this or said this more and more and more, she would have left my dad, so she wouldn't be abused anymore. Like I said, I had to realize that there was nothing I could do. She was her own person. I couldn't control what she did. Even a child, kids can't control the parents. So like I said, that was something that I had to realize, that I had to, of course, work through and heal through and let go of. I guess I put it that way, all the fantasy, all the things that I thought I could have done, and all these kind of things. Like I said, that was the main, I guess, the how. Of course, how, as far as forgiveness, trying to get through those things, trying to heal from those things. Because like I said, I knew that me not being able to forgive, me not being able to move on and to move past this part, so I can, of course, receive the blessings that I was going to get from God, or from the heavens, the universe, whatever you want to call it. Like I said, I definitely had to realize that. And I did realize that I was blocking my blessings. It was causing issues in other relationships that I had with other women and females and that kind of thing. Me not being able to get close to them either, or even one be in a friendship either, or always thought that they were trying to do this and trying to sabotage a relationship, which, yes, some of those things did happen, but I was, of course, holding myself back as well. And like I said, those were some of the things that I knew that I had to work through. I guess I put it that way, in forgiving my mom. Like I said, there was a lot of things that I will never understand. And like I said, I know that now, as talking on this video, that there's some of the things that you may not ever never understand with your mom, if she's no longer on this earth, or you all don't have a good relationship, you're not talking. mad at each other for years or whatever the case may be, just know that you can always move past that situation if she's still here on earth or if she's not, just to keep that in mind. I did not have my mom here to, of course, forgive and talk to go through my healing process at all. I did that on my own. Like I said before in the beginning of this video, healing is never for them. It's never for my mother. It's always for me. It's always for me to get through and work through and heal through all the wounds and all the triggers that I was dealing with when it came to my mother, when it came to all the stuff that I saw her go through, all the chaos and all those things, and all the things that I thought she should have done and would have done if this would have happened, all those kind of fantasy things as well. Like I said, I can talk about those things all day long, but the main thing is in forgiving my mom, but just to know that at some point I had to realize that I have to show empathy and compassion for her as well. Excuse me, like I said, I never knew what she went through. I can just only imagine. She had me when she was 19 years old. So like I said, I can just only imagine what she went through. I'm sure there was, like I said, there was some chaos going up in her household as well that she never told me about, never even opened up to me about, never even talked to me about. I don't know if she ever even dealt with it. I have no idea. Like I said, I know that I had to show empathy towards that because I know that with anybody that's dealing with the abusive relationship as an adult and as a social worker now, I know that when you're dealing with those kind of relationships and that kind of thing, sometimes, a lot of times for women, that could be the reason why that they're dealing with that, I guess, with that kind of partner and behavioral pattern is because a lot of times they saw that growing up as well. And that was what their parent went through or whoever was raising them. Like I said, I do know that being a social worker, I know that dealing with couples as well, that's normally the case. Well, a lot of times that's the case with folks who are in domestic violence relationships. A lot of times there's things that they missed out as well. There's different behavioral patterns that they didn't get, love, affection, whatever it was growing up as well. In a lot of those cases, sometimes they did see their mom and dad or whoever their caretaker was being abused as well. So like I said, I can just only imagine what she went through. And like I said, I definitely had to empathize with that because she does not know how this affected me at all. I'm sure she saw some of it. She saw how hateful I was and how I hated what they did and some of the things I said. But like I said, she didn't really know how this would impact me years later after she's passed away, that kind of thing, for like the next 20 years. She would have never known that. Like I said, I know that because I've been living in survival mode and all these kind of things going on. But like I said, as far as I know, as far as the forgiveness, like I said, it definitely was not for her, it was definitely for me. In order for me to, of course, work through all the bitterness, all the anger, all the resentment, all those things, and all the questions, why, what's going on, why did she do this, why did she stay, all those things. Like I said, I had to work through all those things. Yes, I put different scenarios together and that kind of thing as well. But like I said, I'm calling that a fantasy because I really don't know what happened. But like I said, I had to get through the forgiveness and work through the forgiveness with no mother here on earth. Yes, I went out to the cemetery to, of course, talk and get things off my chest as well. I know that she can hear me and I know that she still lives in my heart. So I know that, of course, I'm still talking to her. But like I said, I had to realize that. I had to realize that that's the only way that I can, of course, writing letters like this or writing in my journal about her, going out to the cemetery, if those kind of things made me comfortable enough to do and to, of course, talk and to, of course, communicate in whatever way I saw fit and praying included. Like I said, that's what I had to do. Jesus, excuse me. Like I said, that's definitely what I had to do. And like I said, if this is a situation that you have to deal with similar to this as well, you may have to do the same. I don't know. But if you need somebody to help you brainstorm, to, of course, help support you on this journey, definitely reach out to me because, of course, I am a relationship coach and that's what I do. But like I said, as far as this situation, there was a lot going on. And like I said, with this letter, like I said, I had no idea what was all in here. I just knew that it was stuff that I went through, stuff that I saw her going through, and things like that. And like I said, I had to forgive her for all these things. Even forgiving her for when she sent me to the movies with my uncle, knowing that he had already sexually abused me in the past. And she knew that, and she was, of course, afterwards, she was there, took me to the doctor, those kind of things. But then still years later, sending me to the movies with him alone, I guess I put it that way, instead of at least going with this. I believe I did ask her that, can you go along with this, because I was scared to, of course, go. I was probably about 9, 10. I couldn't have been that old at the time. When she would just know, I don't want to go, you all just go have fun, that kind of thing. And in my mind, like I said, she did not protect me at all. And like I said, I was definitely hurt and resented that. And like I said, I had to learn how to stand up for myself at that time to let him know that he wasn't touching me anymore. And like I said, I had to do that. And of course, it was very awkward, of course, the rest of the movie trying to go back home and that kind of thing with him as well, because I wasn't having that anymore. And like I said, I had to stand up to that. And like I said, I was just very, very hurt and very upset as to why she didn't even protect me. And I know I'm not the only one out there that's having to work through this kind of forgiveness when your mother had not protected you or from whatever situation that was going on, or didn't believe you when you told her that you were being sexually abused or something along those lines happened. Like I said, we definitely have to work through those things and heal from those things, because if not, those things will affect us for the rest of our lives if we let it. Like I said, I did have a lot of drama and trauma growing up, I guess going through my years beyond, dealing with not being able to, of course, open up fully, that kind of thing with my partner. I was the one, of course, like I said, see my mother being abused and that kind of thing. I was the one who had to be stoic and that kind of thing. I'm not going to let this man put his hands on me. I have never been abused to this day, physically, some mental, emotional, I guess I would say, with cursing back and forth and all that kind of stuff, if that's what you want to call it. But like I said, I definitely have never been physically abused. Seeing my mother growing up in that kind of environment, I'm the one, I would kill you first if you hit me, I put it that way. And I've told people that as well, actually. I'm not afraid to say that on camera either. But like I said, that's the kind of person that I was. You're not going to put your hands on me. You're not going to go, I guess, run over me. I was very, very, as I was told, acting like a guy, put it that way, which I can tell that, which I was definitely in my masculine energy, like I said, but I had to keep myself protected, and that's the only way that I knew how. I knew how to keep myself safe. That was the only way that I knew how to do those things. Not letting anybody abuse me, physically abuse me, run over me, try to use me, those kind of things. Like I said, that's how I kept myself safe as best as I could. I guess I put it that way. And I'll talk about more of that in my story as well. And then this 31 Days of Forgiveness. But like I said, this one was definitely dealing with my mom. And like I said, I hope you definitely enjoyed the video. Well, I guess I can't say enjoyed the video because I'm sure it may have triggered some people listening to this. But I hope that you learned something from this video, that it's okay to, of course, write letters to your mom. It's okay to be mad at your mom. It's okay to say hurtful things, especially if you're young, you don't know what's going on. But at some point, we have to learn how to come back and make amends with that. Like I said, that was something that I had to make amends with. She's no longer on this earth, but like I said, I definitely had to make amends to write these things down to, of course, make sure I knew that I did not just hate her and want her to die. What I hated was all the stuff that she went through and all the things that she was doing. I hope that died. I put it that way. All the domestic violence, I hope that died. I hope that I was wishing that all the drugs that she was using died off and she never had that problem again. But like I said, being a social worker and being a coach, I know that addictions are not that easy to, of course, get rid of, especially if that's not in your plan, and especially if you're in an environment where everybody around you is doing the same thing, I put it that way. Like I said, I know that was definitely something hard for her to go through, but she did manage to go through it, work through it. Of course, like I said, stop the drug usage, was left an abusive dad, that kind of thing, was able to, of course, live on her own for at least a little bit and live a happier life, doing things that she wanted to do and, of course, enjoying and that kind of thing, working and creating their own life for herself, which was something that I had never saw her do. I guess I put it that way. And I'm definitely proud of my mom for doing that. Like I said, I'm definitely proud of her, and I'm sure she knows that. By now, she knows that. Like I said, I'm definitely glad that she went through those things. But as I think about it, those things were something that's very hard to do. A lot of us can't do, a lot of us can't manage to get through. Some of us can, of course, yes, a lot of us do. But like I said, there are some who have a hard time getting past, I guess, moving out, leaving an abusive partner or leaving the drug life, that kind of thing. Like I said, she definitely made that. And like I said, I'm definitely proud of her for doing so. So like I said, that's definitely how I rewrote the story. I guess I put it that way. Seeing my mom as the hero, seeing myself as the hero as well. Knowing that, of course, whether I got all the stuff in childhood that I thought I should have got, but I did make it through. I made it through. Of course, I had some various lessons, of course, and I learned some things that made me, of course, a stronger individual and a stronger person to, of course, get through life and to know that I can do this on my own. I guess I put it that way. Regardless of if I had parents, regardless of if I had a partner, kids, or whatever it was. Like I said, I know with all the things that I went through up until my mother passed away, I knew that I was going to be able to get through life with all the things that she taught me, all the things, whether they were negative or not. all the things that I guess saw growing up, all those lessons that I've learned. Like I said, I definitely knew that I had the oomph to the get up to, of course, go ahead and pick up my life and keep on moving. Even though it was in survival mode, a lot of that, I was, of course, living day to day, trying to get this paycheck to paycheck, all these things, and not trying to, of course, relax and not taking the time off to even enjoy myself, to even try to, like I said, to relax, to have self-care, to at least take a vacation, any of those things. I was very bad with that, actually. I'm doing that now, but like I said in the past, I was definitely bad with that, because I felt that if I stopped doing the work, or if I stopped doing this, that I couldn't take care of my household, or I couldn't pay these bills and those kind of things. Like I said, that was definitely, I know, survival mode, and a lot of that was, of course, growing up, knowing that our gas was cut off. We got evicted from apartments. We had no electricity at times. Like I said, no food at times as well. Like I said, that was the reason why I was pushing myself to do all those things. I know that now. Like I said, growing up and knowing that I was, of course, working through all these things, trying to heal, I know all those things now, and that's why I was doing what I was doing. But like I said, that's how those things affected my life. Not being able to, of course, relax at some point at all, living in survival mode, not being able to cry, and showing that I was the bad person. You're not going to put your hands on me, and having all these masculine I guess tendencies and energy, I guess I can say, having all this hate. Oh, I'm going to get this person. I had a very bad temper for many years, up until like my mid-30s, y'all, seriously. Very bad temper. I used to have very bad road rage, all those kind of things. If somebody say something wrong, I'm going off cursing, no matter where I was at the grocery store, no matter where I'm at. Whatever came out my mouth at that time came out my mouth, I guess I put it that way. Like I said, seeing all these things, all this violence and that kind of thing, that was just my triggers and my reaction at that time to how I saw life and how I was going to respond to life. And like I said, dealing with all this, I had to realize that being in survival mode and the way that I was triggered and responding to life, that at some point was going to have to change if I wanted to ever have a healthier relationship of my own, a partner, marriage, whatever it was. If I ever wanted to have a healthy relationship with my job, knowing that I can't go to work howling and cursing and yelling and get fired from every job, I had to learn how to stop doing all those things. I put it that way. Like I said, that was definitely a process that I had to go through. Like I said, with learning all those things, I had to, because I know this is all from, of course, seeing all this with my mom and my dad. And like I said, I'll talk about that in another video whenever I pull that card. But like I said, a lot of these things definitely affected me. Like I said, I know I had to learn how to say I love you to different people, learn how to be affectionate. I never got that from my mom growing up. I didn't know how. I mean, I saw people doing it, giving the hugs and giving a kiss on the cheek or giving their partner a kiss on the lips. Like I said, those things were hard for me to do. I still do struggle with a few of those things. As far as the saying I love you all the time, which I don't say it all the time. I do say it though. But like I said, my main thing is love to me comes from action, showing that I love you and showing that I'm doing these kind of things for you to, of course, support you on your journey. That's how I show love. I guess I put it that way. Now I know everybody's love is going to be something different, but like I said, some folks are able to say I love you every day to whoever it is. I, of course, say I love you as well, but it's not just every single day. And like I said, that's something I'm still definitely working on as far as being able to, of course, express those emotions like that. I can, of course, express emotions now. I do have, of course, I can cry. Like I said, going to see that movie, Has Stella Got Her Groove Back, I tried to hold back the tears. I didn't never want, I guess my mother, well, nobody ever saw me cry, actually. I think I cried at my mother's funeral a little bit. That was it. I was still trying to be, of course, the strong one. Not nobody seeing me cry and all these kind of things. That's actually how I went through life for years, until my 30s, like I said, a long time. And never nobody seeing me cry, but I was hurting inside all the time. Like I said, seeing my mom going through the similar thing. Like I said, well, she did cry when she was getting abused and that kind of thing as well. But like I said, knowing that I was not going to be that same person that was going to get beat at all, I could never show those feelings, I guess, as far as I thought. Like I said, I just went through all these things like a few years ago, trying to, of course, clear all these triggers, clear all the heal through all these wounds and all those kind of things, to, of course, bring my feelings back. I guess I put it that way, which was more like into my feminine energy. To, of course, know that I can cry and it's okay. Know that I can cry. Which does not mean that I'm weak, because I felt that I was weak a long time. Of course, if I cried in silence in my own room or up under the covers or wherever I cried with nobody watching. Like I said, I definitely believe that was a weak trait. I guess I put it that way. Seeing my mom cry but still going back to the same situation. Like I said, I knew I couldn't cry. And that's how I lived my life. Like I said, not showing those emotions, not wanting to be taken advantage of. And that's how I lived everything until maybe the last 5 to 10 years. I guess I'd say that. But like I said, that was something I definitely knew that I had to heal from, as far as going through this situation with my mom and all these issues and all these traumatic triggers that were coming up and that kind of thing. I had to move past those things. Like I said, I definitely knew that I couldn't have all that stuff affect me for the rest of my life. If that's the case, I would never be in a loving relationship. I know that, because I would constantly be arguing, hollering, and yelling, cursing somebody out, saying what I wanted to say, being angry, all those kind of things, because I'm sure that affected a lot of the relationships I had growing up. I'm sure not a lot, but some of them. Like I said, and like I said, going through our life, I had to understand that I had to heal those things. It wasn't going to heal itself. It wasn't going to forgive itself, and it wasn't going to untrigger itself. I had to do those things. I had to do that work. And like I said, I'm telling you the same things. I'm going to get off here shortly. If anybody out there is dealing with issues from past relationships or current relationships, and you're looking for somebody to, of course, support you on that journey, to be an accountability partner for you, I guess I can say, on that journey, and to, of course, work with you through some of these issues and talking them out and speak your truth about these issues, definitely reach out to me. Of course, I'm Tanetta Clay, your relationship coach here at Speak Your Truth. And of course, these are some of the things that I, of course, work on with the clients that I had in the past as well. And like I said, these are the things that I know that's going to affect our lives growing up, and of course, as adults. These things never go away, so let's keep that in mind, y'all. If you need help, if you need support, definitely reach out to me. You can, of course, email me. I think the email address should be on this page. Or you can just send me a quick messenger message. That's fine as well. Or if you're on YouTube or wherever you're looking at this video, definitely send me a message and just let me know what you need. And when you're looking to meet, I guess I put it that way. So of course, talk and make sure that we're a good fit for each other, and make sure that you're ready actually to take that choice and to take that leap to, of course, go on, I guess, towards the road of healing and forgiveness. So with that, like I said, definitely reach out to me. And if you're a couple who are having issues with trying to, of course, rebuild the trust, I guess, like the trust been lost inside your relationship, things have been going on that you all cannot forgive each other for. Like I said, this definitely applies to you as well. I know this was talking about mother issues and that kind of thing, but in our relationships, I am a relationship coach as well. So like I said, dealing with all those kind of things, they can definitely affect people inside the relationships and affect how they see each other and how they treat each other. Just to let you know, I do of course couple. I do of course couple. If you are needing some, of course, face-to-face support or Zoom camera-to-camera support right now. If not, of course, if you're looking for something that you all can do in your spare time, at home, in the comforts of your own home, and do it at your own pace. Like I said, I definitely have an online course, Unpacking the Baggage, and that goes through a lot of things about, of course, building your forgiveness, rebuilding the trust, building your boundaries, going over your needs and that kind of thing, and what your needs could possibly can be in the relationship. And it talks about sex and all that kind of stuff as well, because we know that outside the bedroom, if you all can have a more positive and healthy relationship outside the bedroom, be able to communicate and talk about what you need, talk about what things you don't forgive your partner for, and how to move past that, and how to, of course, heal from that, and both of you healing from that. Like I said, that's going to cause issues inside the bedroom and definitely issues within your relationship, sometimes, of course, splitting up. And like I said, that's definitely something that I help you out on as well. So if you need a course like that, an online course, I do have that. And I put that in the comments below. It's called Unpacking the Baggage. But like I said, for those who, of course, want face-to-face talking and that kind of thing, or Zoom-to-Zoom, camera-to-camera, I am here for you as a couple and as an individual coach. So definitely reach out to me and let me know what you need. Like I said, I do have Messenger on here on Facebook, or DM on Instagram, that kind of thing, wherever you see in this video. Definitely reach out to me and let me know what you need, y'all. And like I said, with that, I hope that you, I guess enjoyed the video this morning. I can't say enjoy, but I hope that you, of course, listen to the words that I was saying in this video this morning, and listen to how they can, of course, possibly apply in your own life, and looking at some of the things and thinking about some of the things that may have triggered you with your own mother. Like I said, I definitely hope that you're able to heal from those things. Hope that you're able to get through those things and hopefully forgive your mother at some point, whether she's still here on this earth or not. Like I said, that's one of the main relationships that we actually grew up with. And that's one of the main relationships that's going to affect our lives and how we deal with people, other women and other aunties and other folks moving forward. So with that, I want to say thank you all for tuning in. I hope you all have a great day. And like I said, I know this may have triggered some people, especially if you had these situations go on in your life as well. Hopefully you're able to, of course, calm down, lower your anxiety, that kind of thing, in order to get through this video and to, of course, move on through your day after this video as well. If you need assistance with that, just let me know, and I can, of course, talk you through it a little bit and help you, of course, relieve some of those things, of course, but just let me know. But like I said, again, I'm Tanetta, your relationship coach here at Speak Your Truth. If you need any kind of support from me as far as being able to work through your issues with forgiveness with the past relationships or current, definitely reach out to me through messengers. Let me know what you need, y'all. And again, take care, y'all. Have a great day. Bye-bye.